Hey guys, welcome to the next tutorial of ethical hacking and penetration testing via Kali Linux. So in the previous tutorial, we saw how exactly DDoS looks like and what is the basic concept behind that. So you might be wondering how DDoS attacks are actually carried out. Basically, when you visit a website, you send them a request to deliver their content to you. When you send, what you send is actually a packet. Basically, it takes more than just one packet. You need a lot of them. But still, the bandwidth that you consume in requesting the server to send you some data is very little. In return, the data they send you is huge. This takes up server resources for which they pay for, and a legitimate view can easily earn more than the server cost on account of advertisement, etc. So companies buy server that can provide enough data transfer for its regular users. However, if the number of users suddenly increases, the server gives up. It goes down, and since the company knows it is under a DDoS attack or DOS attack, it just turns off the server so that it does not have to waste its monetary resources on a DOS and wait till a DOS stops. Now, the modern computers and bandwidth, we alone can easily pretend to be 1,000 or even more users at once. While this is not good for the server, it is not something that you can make it happen. Your computer is not the only thing that gets better with time. The servers do too. However, if a lot of people like us to go ahead and like me or you go ahead and do a DOS attack, it becomes a distributed DOS attack, that is distributed denial of service attack or DDoS. This can easily be fatal for a server, and it's just like you go to a page and start refreshing it very fast, maybe 1,000 times every second. Yeah, it may be what you can say as a hyperbole, that 1,000 times a second, but yes, that's exactly how DDoS works. And you're not the only one doing that. There are thousands others that are doing the same thing. That is, just think of it that 1,000 users refreshing the page 1,000 times in a second, and they are doing this for minutes and hours. Just think what will happen to the company's server. So basically, you guys are equivalent to more than 1 million users using the sites simultaneously, and that's not something the server can take. Sites like Google and Facebook have strong servers and algorithms that can easily identify a DoS and block the traffic from that IP address and the IP address itself. But it's not just that the websites that get better, and the black hat hackers too are improving day by day. This leaves a huge scope for understanding the DDoS attack and becoming an asset to one of these sites: the good, the bad, and the ugly. So you might be wondering that what exactly or is the major difference between DOS attack and DDoS attack? A DOS attack is denial of service attack. This means that one computer and one internet connection is used to flood a server with packets, that is either TCP or the UDP packets that use the datagram protocol. The point of such a denial of service attack is to overload the target server bandwidth and other resources. This will make the server inaccessible to others, thereby blocking the website or whatever else is hosted there. A DDoS attack, on the other hand, in most respects, it is similar to a DOS attack, but results are much different. Instead of one computer and one internet connection to the DDoS attack, utilizes many computers and many connections. The computers behind such an attack are often distributed and around the whole world and will be a part of what is known as a botnet. The main difference between a DDoS attack versus a DOS attack, therefore, is that the target server will overload by hundreds or even thousands of requests in the case of former, that is the DOS attack, as opposed to the DDoS attack of just one attacker in the case of the latter. Therefore, it is much, or you can say it is impossible to withstand a DDoS attack as opposed to a normal DOS attack. The reason for that is because if it is a DDoS attack from one particular IP address, then you may go ahead and block the IP address for a specific period of time or for lots of period of time. But let's assume that there are thousands of users all around the world. We cannot go ahead and keep blocking each and every other person, because let's say, for example, I myself have 3 laptops at my home and 2 cell phones. So if I go ahead and do a distributed denial of service attack, they can block 5 or 10 or maybe let's say 50 at a time. But blocking, so just assume that if a person has 2 computers at his home, or if he can just go to the cyber cafe by just going $2, $5, or maybe 10 rupees, 15 rupees for an hour, that would be more than sufficient for them to go ahead and kill a server or make them down. And it's much harder, or I can say it is impossible, to go ahead and catch the people who actually did DDoS attack. The reason being that there are multiple IP addresses and you cannot actually assume whether it's a DDoS attack actually, or a number of people are trying to log in on your website at the same time. So it can be either of them. So it's not necessary that all the people are actually going ahead and using your using their denial of service attack to go ahead and attack you. It can be like, let's say for example, I'll take an example of our IRCTC website. That is an Indian website for railway ticket booking and air ticket booking. So most of the time during April, when people get a lot of holidays, you will see that the time that the website is extremely slow, or it will show you that it's under maintenance. The reason for that is because, first of all, there are people booking lots of tickets. Second thing, there are people who are continuously viewing whether their tickets are booked or they are still waiting. And the third thing are that there are people in cyber cafes or other people or travelers who actually go ahead and sit on the website for no reason, just so that they could block the other traffic, and other people can go ahead and tell them. The only reason was that because these people cannot get a booking on the railway, the reason being that the site was slow. So they go to these people who are already logged in, and they give him some kind of extra fee, like around 50 rupees, 100 or 200 rupees extra, so that their tickets get booked and it does not go on waiting. So at that point of time, even the websites get down a lot of time. The reason being that multiple people are using it. So you cannot actually go ahead and distinguish between a distributed denial of service attack or just normal people using it at the same point of time. That's the reason it's most likely unable to stop and unable to detect, or sometimes it is able to detect but it cannot stop, and that's why the people have to shut down their server. So yeah, that's the whole concept behind the DDoS attack, and that is it for this tutorial. In the next tutorial, I'll be teaching you about the different levels of attack, the OSI models and stuff.